Hey everybody, East Coast Reefer here. Today I'm going to talk to you about the 5 biggest mistakes that I've made so far in my reef keeping journey. Now maybe you recognise these, maybe it will save you from making these mistakes, maybe you avoided them, or maybe you made them as well. Maybe drop some suggestions below if you've got any other ideas of big mistakes maybe you've made. But yeah, starting off with number 5, that was buying too small a tank. I bought a Fluval Evo 13, I think it is. It's like a 50 litre tank. And this was my first marine tank. I wasn't too sure. It all seemed quite expensive. But in actual fact, the tank I've got behind me now, because I bought it second hand, was cheaper than the Evo cost. So, yeah, I think if I could do it again, I wouldn't go in with the Evo, because even after buying the Evo, I went to an Aqua One Mini Reef 120, which was 120 litres. And I think the size was okay, but the big letdown here was the single drain, and that's point number 4. The single drain setup was an absolute nightmare. It needs constant balancing, and if you turn your back for too long, you can end up with a bit of a puddle on the floor. I did look into a company that offered an automation solution to speed up and slow down the pump according to the level of the water in the display tank, but their servers went down. That failed rather spectacularly, killed a load of my livestock and flooded my office, so I wouldn't recommend that either. So that's 5 and 4. Number 3 are spills, and I think everyone makes that mistake. Everyone spills water everywhere, but I think for me, I've had some really spectacularly dumb ones as well. I've got a 25 litre container that I siphon the water out into when I'm doing a water change, and I got so carried away with hoovering all of the gravel, or I can't remember if it was there or in the sump. And the next thing I knew, my socks were soaked through because I'd overfilled the 25 litre container and there was water everywhere. So, yeah, spills, just pay attention. It's really easy to not pay attention and to look away and get distracted. But yeah, you could end up with water everywhere. Then, number 2 on my list, and that is buying something rather than buying nothing when you're at the fish shop. And depending on how far you have to go for your fish shop, if you've driven quite a long way, it can be hard to resist the temptation to buy something. You can easily buy something without looking it up properly, particularly if the shop doesn't have a great internet connection, if you've got bad mobile signal or something, so you can't do a bit of on-the-fly research, which, if anyone's seen me in the fish shop, I'll see something that I maybe wasn't thinking of getting of, and I'll be frantically looking that up in the fish shop to make sure that I'm not making a mistake with it. So don't just buy something for the sake of buying something, or if you do, buy something useful. And this is something that I found myself doing the other week. I went to the fish shop. I really kind of wanted to get something, but nothing really leapt out. Nothing was really what I was after. So I just bought 6 Nacerius snails because they're always useful. Nacerius snails, a conch, Asterina, banded trocus, turbo snails, whatever. They're all useful. They all have a limited lifespan, so you probably need to keep them topped up. So if you do need to buy something that's not going to cause you headaches. Get something useful. And then number 1 kind of ties into this equipment that offered an automation to prevent my tank from flooding. Don't buy shoddy equipment. Don't buy something that relies on an internet connection to a server, because basically what happened with this is my low level limit was triggered, so it would speed the motor up by 1% every 2 minutes, and then their server went down, but the pump was stuck in this increase your speed by 1% every 2 minutes, and that ended up draining my sump down, which set off the ATO, which pulled in a lot of RO water, which then got sucked through from the sump into the display tank, and all of my coral that was in front of my outlet nozzle basically had very, very low salinity water thrust all over it, and it just killed it, as well as a starfish that I had as well. So, do your research. Don't get shoddy equipment. Don't get anything that relies on an internet connection to function if it doesn't have a fail-safe. It's fine, maybe not fine, but it's much lower risk for like a dose unit, as long as it doesn't stay on a dose mode, which the company that made the automation equipment that I bought, they, on the same day when the server went down, other people were talking on social media and saying, yeah, it basically emptied all of my kalkwasser or all of my magnesium into the tank at once, and it put the magnesium through the roof, and there's lots of problems with that. So if you're going to get automation equipment, get something that fails safe, that stops and maybe doesn't give you enough additional dosing, and certainly, be very mindful of using technology to overcome a physical limitation like the single drain. Some big lessons learned by me that day, definitely. So that's my top 5. Hopefully they're helpful. Maybe you recognise some of them, maybe you don't. Maybe you've got some even better ones that you can add. Great if they have a funny story associated with them. It's always good to be able to laugh about these disasters afterwards. So yeah, share anything like that. If there's anything you want to see me do as a video, let me know. Put it in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching to the end. I know YouTube likes that kind of thing. If you like, subscribe, share, hit the bell, all those other things that YouTube likes, that would be fantastic. We had a milestone in the channel recently, 5,000 views. Thank you. We're very close to 50 subscribers. We're very close to 100 watch hours as well. So yeah, some big landmarks coming up for me. Might be small for other people. They're big for me. Hopefully this is all useful for you, and I'll see you in the next video.